going up Jennie's Creek. And I believe it was here that... What's the next one? It's this one that you go up to the Collins Cemetery on the left. It's up above this house. You gonna help me? Don't be shy, Zach. And up above us here is the big cut through when they put in that new
Crum bypass.
Yeah, the Crum bypass. This is where Paul Kahn lives on our right, and the Step Cemetery is up above their houses.
Way up there.
And he put a new sign in. This is the off ramp of the Crum bypass coming down to Jennie's Creek. Getting down to the part where the Heralds and the Corn Cemetery is over on our right, and on our left. Sorry, I'm thinking
Josiah's on the right.
That's who I'm thinking of.
With his highway marker.
And the Yellow Poplar Lumber Company was here in the 20s on the right.
Was that Horse Hollow?
Was that Horse Hollow? I think it was on the left. This old building on the right with the black on the side, that was the old Aunt Allen Church. And we're getting up to where you would turn right for Mudlick. And that has...
The big Williamson Cemetery.
And...
Justice,
seven
Lawson, Bragg, the Allen,
Savage, Chapman.
There's a Dillon Cemetery.
And here on the left, where these this mailbox is, you climb straight up that hill to where the Fletcher Cemetery is.
Straight up.
Yeah. That was a climb.
And whose store was this?
J. and Maggie Williamson's store was where this black mound is.
What's left of it?
And there's a Copley service station to the right, or to the left of their store. Oh, is that a cow?
Let's see.
Oh, man. Let's see. I think next is our Alvin
Markham Branch?
Yeah.
Yeah, right up here.
Yeah, there's a single grave out in the yard for an Alvin Markham.
And then what's the name of this holler? This is the Parsley Cemetery.
Parsley Hollow.
On the left there.
Yeah, the cemetery's back there on the little rise.
And then on this big curve up here, we're coming to the Harris Cemeteries on the left. And I think next is Perry Point.
Oh yeah, you can always see it coming. It's all the way up the hillside.
Great Point Church and the big cemetery that we've spent a lot of time at the last couple of years.
Yeah, and I was told that Wayne Pack is the one who built the church, and he's buried up here on the hillside.
Was it called Walnut Grove Church too?
No,
Back in
that
the
was
day.
Pine Grove.
Pine Grove.
Oh, and there was a cemetery on the right for Clifford Waller. I think they called him CJ. He preached at that church, and he wanted to be buried there, and the rest of the family are gonna
Follow suit.
Yeah. Now this area, this is Walnut Grove. Oh, sorry, mister. This is Walnut Grove, and the mouth of Old Fork is coming up here on the left.
We got several cemeteries up there. The Lowe Cemetery, Edna Lowe's grave,
Or
right there at the mouth. The Gilman and Fletcher Cemetery, Kyler Mountain.
And this area is known as Dicey in the old days. Dicey Post Office used to be across this
Bridge there.
bridge.
On the left here, just above where she lives. I believe there's 2 graves up there, maybe.
Helen V. Bragg, I think.
And Lincoln Bragg.
Yeah. And this is where the who was that? Roger Mead Cemetery?
That was a store there.
Cemetery was back here on the left above that house. Here's where Dan Mead lives. He helped us find Roger Mead Cemetery.
And right here is the big Anderson Cemetery. And we've also seen it called Tombstone Hollow and Grave Point Holler or something.
And
on a couple of deeds this week.
Copley Messer Cemetery is a little one on the right of it. This is Archie Messer's house. And I think that holler's called something, I can't remember what. I believe boards are buried up in there we have to get to. Stretches through here that just a bunch of woodland. I think we're coming up on the Bingo Wayne line, aren't we?
Yeah. Jennie's Creek's running on our right side there. I think we just crossed into Mingo County. There's a Dillon Cemetery. It's the Wash Dillon Cemetery on the right there of that holler. And then this coming up here with this blue house is Johnson Hollow. There's a couple cemeteries up there.
Are we at Lindsay Spalding?
Yeah, Fisherman Lane.
Yeah, Lindsay Spalding Cemetery, where Ira and Melinda Spalding are buried. It's up here on the right. Our good friend Odessa Messer, she lived here, and her cemetery is right above. Plus the Salmons Cemetery, the Spalding Cemetery.
George Jackson
Cemetery, because he lived right here on the left.
We've seen that called Old House Branch or Big Jim's Branch.
Yeah.
Depending on which deed you're looking at. Tiny Fields' store was right on the left in there.
You remember that? I need my notes for that. Church house is, and it has a cemetery up there. Has Elias Bug Dameron, who was a reverend.
And this is where the missionaries lived, right?
Yeah.
With the Turkey Jack Spalding Cemetery behind it on the right there.
I think Kathy's always talked about this having a big baseball field out here.
And that road up there, I don't know if you can see it on the right, that's the left fork of Marbone. You can see it coming down where it meets up here with Jennie's Creek.
And there was a Verdi Bunsey, and I can't remember her husband's name, because that's their store right there.
And there's the road that goes to Marbone. Cemetery. Up here a
it's
little
up
bit.
Here a little further. And her Mountain Memory Cemetery.
It's on up.
Is that how you're I always thought it was right when you turned. Getting up in this the lower
honey branches.
Yeah. The road's getting skinnier.
There's one of them.
What was that?
That's Mountain Memory Cemetery.
That's okay.
And then this one is the Jacob Messer. This is Middle Honey Branch.
Yeah, this
with the Mead Cemetery.
And where Jennie's Creek School used to sit. Oh, watch out, puppy. That's not much of a dog. I believe this is Upper, isn't
I think.
it? Upper Honey Branch.
And around this curve here's the Carter Messer Cemetery on the left with the old Jennie's Creek Church on the right.
Maybe we can do this again when we have our crib notes for all the stores. We got a Hodge left, and then
Clella Messer.
Messer.
Clark, or General Perry.
I don't know if I'm going up that far. It's up the mountain. Okay.
Alright. And then here on the left is the Hodge Cemetery.
Coming up on the Welcome Home Church. Welcome Home Church of Jesus Christ. That's where a lot of people up on Anderson, Hodge were buried.
What was this one?
Is that McClellan?
No.
That's Lark
Perry Cemetery.
Goodness. Hey there, little boy.
skinnier as you go up.
Yeah. Oh, chicken. Road chicken.
Now here's the Cleland Messer Cemetery on the right, on that point.
Hope that bug was worth it.
And then this is Messer Holler. There's a large Messer cemetery up there and a Kenny Messer family cemetery.
Yeah, and we were told there was like 3 or 4 maybe in this holler.
And now we're climbing Breeden Mountain. So now we're getting up into the head of Jennie's Creek.
Why they put a yellow line there?
It's only one lane.
A go-kart couldn't fit over there.
And then up here on the right, I believe, maybe, yes, is the General and Lydia Perry Cemetery.
Oh, that's a unique cemetery. So
You can see the shelter over there on the right. And there's the sign and the road leading down to it.
Volcano. Let's see if I can. Nope. Puppies. Maybe it's been hunting. Alright.
I think we're gonna stop here. But if you keep going, you end up in Breeden over on the west fork of 12 Pole Creek.